There's one way of speaking at work that quietly makes people stop respecting you. What if I told you that the way you speak at work, the conversations you have with coworkers, the things you say in meetings, and even the complaints you voice during lunch breaks are either opening doors for God's blessings in your career or shutting them completely? What if your workplace isn't just where you earn a paycheck, but it's actually your mission field, the exact place God has strategically positioned you to be His light, and the words coming out of your mouth are determining whether you shine or fade into darkness? Today we're diving into practical biblical principles that will show you exactly how to master what you say at work and become the light God called you to be, right where He placed you. This isn't religious theory. This is real-world application that will transform your career, your relationships, and your impact. So stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything about how you show up, Monday through Friday. If this message is speaking to you right now, do me a favor, hit that like button. Drop a comment telling me your biggest challenge with being a Christian in the workplace, and share this video with a coworker or friend who needs to hear this today, because together we can create a movement of believers who are lights in their workplaces instead of just blending into the darkness. Let's start with a fundamental truth that most Christians miss. Your workplace is not a secular space that's separate from your spiritual life. It's a sacred assignment. God didn't randomly drop you into your job. He strategically placed you there. Colossians 3:23 and 24 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." Read that again. You're not ultimately working for your boss or your company. You're working for Jesus. This means every conversation, every email, every meeting, every interaction is an opportunity to represent Him well or to misrepresent Him completely. And the primary way people will see Christ in you is through wearing a cross necklace or having a Bible on your desk. It's through the words that come out of your mouth when pressure hits, when conflict arises, when gossip spreads, when injustice happens, when success comes, and when failure strikes. Think about the average workplace culture today. It's filled with complaining about management, gossiping about coworkers, cursing when things go wrong, taking credit for others' work, throwing people under the bus to protect yourself, lying to cover mistakes, speaking negatively about the company, and creating toxic environments through careless words. Now imagine you're a believer walking into that environment every single day. You have two choices. You can conform to the culture around you, speaking the same way everyone else speaks, participating in the same conversations, joining the same complaint sessions, fitting in so you're not seen as weird or judgmental. Or you can be different. You can be the person whose words stand out because they seasoned with grace, filled with integrity, marked by encouragement, and consistently pointing toward something higher than office politics and workplace drama. One path leads to blending in and losing your influence. The other path leads to standing out and becoming a light that people notice. But here's the hard truth. Being a light at work through your words will cost you something. It will cost you popularity with certain people. It will cost you participation in conversations that everyone else is having. It will cost you the temporary satisfaction of venting your frustrations. It will cost you the false sense of belonging that comes from joining in gossip sessions. Jesus said in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Notice, He didn't say let your light shine so people think you're a good person. He said so they glorify your Father in heaven. Your different speech at work isn't about making yourself look righteous. It's about pointing people to God, and that requires sacrifice. It requires being willing to be misunderstood, labeled as too sensitive or too religious, excluded from certain circles, and sometimes even facing career consequences for refusing to compromise your speech. So let's get practical. What does it actually look like to master what you say at work according to biblical principles? First principle: refuse to participate in gossip, no matter how tempting it is. Proverbs 26:20 says, "Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down." Gossip is the fuel that keeps workplace conflict and drama alive. When you refuse to add wood to that fire, when you do repeat what you heard, when you do speculate about people's motives, when you redirect conversations away from talking about others behind their backs, you literally cutting off the oxygen supply to toxicity. But this is hard because gossip often disguises itself as normal conversation. "Oh, did you hear what happened with so-and-so?" Can you believe what they did? I probably shouldn't say this, but let me tell you what I heard. The moment you hear those phrases, you have a choice. Do you lean in and participate, or do you graciously decline? You can say something like, I'd rather not talk about someone who is here to speak for themselves, or I do think we have all the information, so I do rather not speculate. Will this make you unpopular with gossipers? Absolutely. But you're not called to be popular, you're called to be faithful. Second principle, speak words of genuine encouragement, especially when the culture around you is negative. Proverbs 16:24 says, gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and healing to the bones. Workplaces are often filled with criticism, cynicism, and complaint. Everyone can point out what's wrong. Very few people make it their mission to point out what's right. Be the exception. When a coworker does good work, tell them specifically what you appreciated. When someone is struggling, offer words of genuine support without trying to fix them. When the team is discouraged, remind them of past victories and present strengths. When your boss makes a good decision, acknowledge it even if they make plenty of bad ones too. Your words of encouragement will stand out dramatically in an environment where encouragement is rare. And here's what happens. People start gravitating toward you because everyone is hungry for genuine affirmation. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that impacts our daily lives in a huge way. Our work. Specifically, how can we bring our faith into the workplace, not just in our actions, but in our words? Let's talk about 5 key ways to honor God through our communication at work. First up, guarding our mouths during conflict. We all know disagreements happen. It's so easy to get defensive, to say something sharp, or to vent to a coworker. But the Bible calls us to be peacemakers. Instead of reacting in the heat of the moment, let's take a breath and choose grace. Think about Proverbs 15:1. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. This means listening to understand, not just to respond. It means handling disagreements with a calm spirit, seeking resolution instead of trying to win the argument. This approach doesn't just diffuse tension, it shows a different, better way to handle conflict. Next, let's talk about being impeccably honest. In today's competitive world, it can be tempting to stretch the truth, maybe to close a deal or avoid getting in trouble. But our integrity is one of our most valuable assets. Proverbs 11:3 says, the integrity of the upright guides them. Honesty isn't just about not telling outright lies. It's about being transparent, giving credit where it's due, and admitting when we've made a mistake. When our colleagues and clients know they can trust our word completely, we build a reputation that glorifies God and opens doors for deeper influence. True integrity shines brightest when it's difficult. The third point is refusing to use profanity. This might seem obvious, but think about the environments we work in. Sometimes, coarse language is just part of the culture. But Ephesians 4:29 gives us a clear standard. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. This isn't about being self-righteous or judgmental. It's about setting a higher standard for ourselves. Choosing clean, respectful language elevates the entire atmosphere and marks us as different. It's a simple yet powerful way to reflect a heart that's been transformed. Fourth, let's practice gratitude instead of complaining. The break room can easily become a place for grumbling about the boss, a difficult project, or that annoying printer. It's so easy to join in. But Philippians 2 tells us to do everything without grumbling or arguing. What if we flipped the script? What if, instead of complaining, we intentionally looked for things to be thankful for? Expressing gratitude for a helpful coworker, a successful project, or even just the opportunity to have a job can completely change our perspective and the morale of those around us. A grateful heart is contagious in the best way possible. Finally, and most importantly, let's use our words to serve and build others up. This is the positive side of everything we've talked about. Colossians 4:6 says, let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt. Think about how powerful your words can be. You can use them to encourage a teammate who's struggling, to praise someone for their hard work, or to offer a kind word to the receptionist. Look for opportunities to affirm, support, and uplift. By using our speech to serve others, we are directly reflecting the heart of Jesus. We become a source of life and encouragement in a place that can often feel draining. So, to recap, guard your mouth in conflict, be impeccably honest, refuse profanity, practice gratitude, and use your words to serve. By applying these biblical principles, Our communication at work can become a powerful testimony to our faith. We can transform our professional environments, one conversation at a time, and show the world what it looks like to follow Christ in every area of our lives. Thanks so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these points you want to focus on this week. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one. What if you asked questions that helped others shine, instead of always angling to make yourself look good? What if you used your influence to advocate for people who don't have a voice? This kind of servant leadership through speech is rare and powerful. It builds trust, it creates loyalty, it develops genuine relationships, and it reflects the heart of Jesus, who came not to be served but to serve. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. What about sharing your faith at work? How do you be a light without being preachy or inappropriate? Here's the key. Your life and your words earn you the right to speak about your faith. 1 Peter 3:15 says, "Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have, but do this with gentleness and respect." Notice it says, when people ask, you don't force conversations about Jesus. You live and speak in such a distinctly different way that people become curious. They notice you don't participate in gossip. They see you handle stress with unusual peace. They observe you treating difficult people with grace. They hear you speak with integrity when everyone else is lying. And eventually they ask, why are you different? What makes you like this? Where does your strength come from? That's when you have an invitation to share. And you do it with gentleness and respect, not with judgment or superiority, not with religious cliches that mean nothing to them, but with authentic testimony about what Jesus has done in your life. Here's what being a light at work through your words will produce. First, changed relationships. When you consistently speak differently, people's perception of you changes. They may not agree with your faith, but they'll respect your character. Some will be drawn to you. Others will avoid you. Both outcomes are okay. Second, increased influence. As you prove yourself trustworthy, encouraging, honest, and wise, your influence grows. People seek your counsel. Leaders notice you. Opportunities expand. Third, supernatural peace. When you not carrying the burden of lies, to maintain not participating in toxic drama, not constantly complaining, you experience a peace that the workplace can give or take away. Fourth, potential career advancement. Proverbs 22:29 says, "Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank." Excellence combined with integrity creates a powerful combination that leaders notice. And fifth, eternal impact. You may be the only Bible some of your coworkers ever read. Your words could plant seeds that lead someone to Christ years later. You have no idea what God might do through your faithful speech in that environment. Let me give you a practical 30-day challenge. For the next month, track your speech at work. Keep a note on your phone or in a journal. At the end of each day, ask yourself these questions. Did I participate in gossip today? Did I complain or did I express gratitude? Did I speak harshly or gently during conflict? Was I completely honest? Did I use my words to serve others or promote myself? Did I encourage anyone specifically? Did my speech today make people think more highly of me or of God? Be brutally honest in your assessment. When you fail, and you will confess it to God, apologize to people if necessary, and start fresh the next day. At the end of 30 days, evaluate the patterns. Where have you grown? Where do you still struggle? What impact have you noticed in your relationships and your environment? Here's the bottom line. You spend the majority of your waking hours at work. God didn't waste that. He positioned you there, intentionally. You are His representative in that environment. The question is, will you be a good one or a poor one? Will your words reflect His character, or will they blend in with the darkness around you? Will you complain and gossip like everyone else, or will you speak life and truth? Will you use your mouth to serve yourself or to serve others? Every conversation is a choice. Every word is an opportunity. You have more influence than you realize, and it all flows through the words you choose to speak or not speak. Don't underestimate the power of consistent godly speech in a secular workplace. It creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. That encouragement you gave might have prevented someone from quitting, or worse. That time you refused to gossip might have protected someone's reputation. That gentle response during conflict might have de-escalated a situation that could have exploded. That truth you told might have saved the company from a major problem. That gratitude you expressed might have given your coworker hope to keep going. You are sowing seeds with every word, and God promises that a harvest will come if you don't give up. So, master what you say at work. Be intentional, be different, be faithful. Let your speech be so marked by grace, truth, encouragement, and integrity that people coo and help but notice there's something different about you. And when they ask, tell them, it's because you serve a God who transformed your heart and therefore transformed your mouth. Be the light right where God placed you. Don't wait for a better job, a Christian workplace, or perfect circumstances. Shine right now, right where you are with the words you choose today. Your workplace needs your light. Your coworkers need your different speech. And God is watching to see if you'll be faithful with this assignment. Will you master what you say at work and be the light He called you to be? The choice is yours, and it starts with the very next words that come out of your mouth.